Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. Our show this week is presented by the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, where they partner with physicians and other providers, hospitals, long-term care and assisted living facilities, skilled nursing facilities throughout the region to care for patients wherever they call home. This week, we'll close our visit here with Gail Matthews, and we'll bring you up to date on information involving Alzheimer's research that she is very familiar with. We'll view a video provided by Mass Eye and Ear Alzheimer's Research Group. We'll see what it takes to be a VNA caregiver. And we'll close with a visit we made last year to the workshop preparing the Newport Historical Mural. But first, a few words from the good businesses that make it possible for us to bring you YCN, Your Local View, and Yankee Chronicle. Please stay with us.
The American Red Cross blood supply is at historically low levels this winter, and we're facing a dangerous situation. Hospitals and patients are counting on donors to get the blood they need. Make a life-saving appointment today. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice. And I'm joined again by Gail Matthews, and we're talking about Alzheimer's, being a caregiver, some new research that's just come out. But quickly, let's talk about a book that you wrote, and also you did columns for a very long time to just make sure that people are aware of what is happening in the world of Alzheimer's.
Well, the book is therapy, and it's to help the caregiver know that she's not doing, or he's not doing anything wrong.
Sure.
But this is interesting because mainly women are the caregivers, yet out of every 10 patients, 7 are women. So and it's very difficult. Carlton Bradford once said to me when Maggie had Alzheimer's, it is so difficult for a man to take care of a woman. Think of putting her pearls on when she wants pearls, or putting studs in her ears. It's just very difficult.
Interesting.
Yes.
Talk about the book quickly. Where can people find it?
Morgan Hill.
Wonderful.
And Bookends.
Yep.
And it's also on Kindle.
Okay.
Amazon.
Oh.
Yes, it's been on there, and it's gone all over the country because people just need that, I don't know, it's one-on-one help.
Yeah.
And Did I Die is the title, and the reason is that when Glenn received the diagnosis after doing the Montreal test, and he got 18 the second time, and a month later had gotten 27. So he put his hands on my shoulders again, and he said, "Honey, did I die?" And that was
it. Is what it
and
feels
one of the pictures that he drew at Respite for Lake Sunapee VNA was a square box, and he wrote balloon going upward.
Oh, kind of what he felt
so
like.
So he knew. And Steve Winter said it was like a tunnel. But I did the columns because, again, there was not enough out there for caregivers. And now it is so exciting because there's everything. It's coming. And I stopped the column after 150 because Alzheimer's Association has finally found time to get to the caregiver. There is an e-letter that you can get on your computer every single month, helping you with every single part of the subject. And what I like most of all is there's a 24/7 phone number that you can call, and there is a mentor that will help you through the whole thing. How to take a shower, how everything. And now in New London, we have Improv
which for caregivers,
which got a grant, and Sage Tokach is just phenomenal. The actors act out every single problem that a caregiver runs into. So we are booming. We'll get this disease under control, and we can get on to other things.
It is crucial, and I'm sure as a caregiver, it is helpful to hear other situations where someone can say, "Oh, I've struggled with that," and you don't feel so alone. So the more the caregivers can talk about their own situations, probably is very comforting to especially a new caregiver too, someone figuring it out.
And we had a session yesterday at the barn, Fleming Center, and the actors were fantastic. From the wheelchair, getting a belligerent patient in. And what I loved about it was the participation from the audience as each scenario was played out.
Amazing.
Yeah, Sage is a marvel.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about this new research out of Mass Eye and Ear.
All right, this is pretty exciting. First of all, Mass Eye and Ear will be 200 years old. It's very prestigious.
Yes.
It is a hospital that treats the person, but it also does research. And this doctor is from Colombia. He's just charming. And it's Dr. Arboleda Velasquez.
Okay.
And he is a stroke doctor. And he discovered through his Colombian connection this whole family that had Alzheimer's. And one woman within the family did not. So they examined her brain and discovered, because amyloid plaque and tau are so much a part of Alzheimer's, and you can't take away too much because it's also part of our immune system. So it's very complicated. And she didn't have it. So he discovered that she has a gene that prevents her from getting Alzheimer's.
Whoa.
And that is big research.
That is big research.
So he has done a lot of it with the people in his lab, and they can make an antibody, they believe, that will be able to take.
Wow.
That deals with Relin.
And can it be a test to see if you have the gene?
I hope so.
Yeah.
And I hear that a test for your blood work is coming online. But again, there are 92 dementias, and Alzheimer's is mentioned the most. But you don't know you have Alzheimer's until you die, and if your brain is autopsied. Now, Glenn gave his brain to Harvard, Brain Trust, and this goes on to use by the researchers for ALS, for Parkinson's, for Lewy body, for Down syndrome, for all the different brain diseases. But this is very exciting, and more is coming out of Mass Eye and Ear too.
So this is just the start of this research finding.
But then there's other research that's being done by Cure Alzheimer's Fund, which is all across the world. And for example, they're trying to figure out why women get it more than men. And is it tied to estrogen? Is it tied to hormones? What is it tied to? And they're working with Rotary, but they're pure research. Every dollar goes to research. Well, there are other things going on too, which is wonderful. All the balls are up in the air.
Sure.
Biogen now has, I wish they'd come out with easy to say names.
I know. Can they consult with us non-medical folk first?
Well, Aduhelm is out, and it's called aducanumab, and that has had mixed reviews because of swelling in the brain and bleeding. But every research type that is done helps the other researchers in what they're coming out with. And I have to use my notes.
That's fine.
Okay, because it's Leqembi.
Okay.
And that has shown very good results, and it's out of Aduhelm.
Okay.
And I was talking with a caregiver in Florida the other day, and she said that she wishes her husband's been on it. He had the placebo, but now he's on it, and as he's progressed, and if he can get it early enough, that's why the blood test would be so great. But she wishes he had had it beforehand, because she's seen it's kind of kept him stable.
Oh, interesting. So there is some good.
But for your age, we want to get this solved.
Yes. Let's get this done.
This is the bad part, and why I am so adamant about this is it's starting to get into the 40-year-olds. Early onset. And that's not good.
I've heard of a few people who have had it in their 50s and passed away in their 60s, and that's way too young.
Way too young.
Yeah, way too young. Gail, it's always wonderful to chat with you. I know you could fill a 2-hour segment, and I wouldn't have to ask you a question ever again.
Oh, come on, Abby.
Thank you for all of the wonderful research and keeping us informed about this topic. That is very hard for people, but they should certainly know that you are a wonderful resource for them.
But they're talking about it now.
That's the best part, right? The best part. Let's make sure people are aware.
And making people feel like they don't have something that isn't untalkable.
Right. And they're not alone, caregivers or the patient.
Right.
Right.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you
to Great for doing this.
Thank you, Gail. When we return, I'll have a video produced by Mass Eye and Ear about Alzheimer's research, which highlights our Gail Matthews. I'll be back after this message from a business that supports and underwrites your Yankee Chronicle.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner. For books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
We are strong and we'll get through this together, but these are stressful times. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, and know that you are not alone. Visit wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Recently, Mass Eye and Ear presented a video on their research. They're allowing us to share it with you now.
Imagine a world without Alzheimer's disease. Mass Eye and Ear's Dr. Joseph Arboleda Velasquez is working to make that a reality. Just a few years ago, he made worldwide news. An extended family in Colombia has been suffering from early Alzheimer's for decades, starting in their 40s. But Dr. Arboleda discovered a woman in her 70s who was spared. Why? First, you need to understand how Alzheimer's progresses.
In this cascade of events, you have amyloid at the top, and that triggers the accumulation of another protein that is called tau. And then once you have tau accumulation, we have the dysfunction of neurons, and then they die, and we observe memory loss. She was protected, somehow, and that protective factor was stopping and blocking the connection between amyloid, tau, and neurodegeneration.
In the Colombian woman's case, a protective mutation called ApoE3 Christchurch stopped the cascade, even though she had the highest levels ever recorded of amyloid plaque. The culprit the scientific world has been focused on for years.
It showed us it was possible for somebody to beat the odds and stay protected from Alzheimer's for decades. So now when we put this antibody into the mice, they have less tau pathology, much like the patient, which is quite a remarkable finding.
The doctor has great faith that therapies they're developing could work.
We, for instance, have been able to make that antibody into a drug that could potentially be used in humans.
And now Dr. Arboleda is rocking the scientific world again.
What we found was a mutation in a different gene. The name of the gene is reelin.
There's some evidence now just putting more reelin, which is this protein, in the brain could help.
It operates via a mechanism that we call gain of function. Essentially, it makes the protein work better. And the moment that you are doing therapeutic development, when you have a gain of function mutation, it's very easy to develop therapeutics because the bottom line is that you have to put just more of it. What would be the therapeutic in this case? More reelin. And now people know that the Christchurch wasn't just a one-time wonder. There are people out there that have protected genes, and they can show us the pathway towards better therapeutics.
The potential to end the epidemic of Alzheimer's could be a game changer because the physical, emotional, and financial tolls of the disease are enormous. Nobody knows this better than Gail Matthews, author of the book, Did I Die?
I started to write the book because it was my husband's idea. He put his hands on my shoulders when the doctor said that he might have Alzheimer's and to have it further checked. And he said, we have a project. Start taking notes. If you're the caregiver, there are 11 million of them taking care of 6 million patients right now. You are just on all the time. You can't leave them alone. You can't really have any rest. Towards the end, it's hell. It's absolute hell. But if you love someone deeply, you are seeing this person deteriorate. He died 10 years ago and I still feel it. He was my partner. And there was no more saying goodnight.
But Dr. Arboleda's work is giving all of us great hope for the future.
Mass Eye and Ear has such an incredible reputation. And if they say that they will have something, I believe them.
But the ultimate goal of my research is to create a world without Alzheimer's disease. These patients open the door for that to be a reality. I know it's possible for people to beat Alzheimer's for decades.
It's just so important to get this disease out of the way. It would mean that my project is finished.
Thanks to Mass Eye and Ear for their efforts to eradicate this ugly disease that takes away our loved ones even before they die. When we return, we'll present a video from our Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, encouraging people to become part of their caregiving team. It's up next here on YCN, so stay tuned.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Can I go to the sleepover?
I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
I'm Abby Peel, your host of Yankee Chronicle. If you're looking to change your career or would just like to give a hand, here's a message from the VNA on becoming one of their caregivers.
Getting out of bed, bathing, getting dressed, cooking and cleaning are some of the everyday tasks that people often need help with as they age. And the Lake Sunapee VNA team is here to help. Our homemaker companions, personal care service providers, and licensed nursing assistants are passionate about providing the care and support that keep our clients safe, secure, and as independent as possible in the homes they love.
It's very rewarding, but it's also my way of giving back. I've had family members that needed the VNA, and their services were wonderful, and it's just my way of saying thank you.
I'm just filled with so much pride, and I'm fulfilled to be able to work here, to be able to hang out with residents and patients like Helen, hear their stories, help them when they need help, has fulfilled my life in ways that I could never explain.
Anybody who loves their home and believes in their home as much as I do, you can't imagine being anyplace else. It brings tears to your eyes when you think you can be in your home.
If you're interested in a meaningful career in home care, we are interested in talking to you, even if you have no previous experience. Our entry-level positions offer room for growth, and our on-the-job training, welcoming culture, and supportive team are just a few of the things that make working here so special. Check out our website to learn more or contact us to set up a shadow experience and see for yourself what a career in home care is all about.
Please get in touch with the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice if you have an interest and would like more details. When your Who, What, Where, and When show returns, we'll visit the workshop where the Newport Historical Mural was created. Stay with us here on Yankee Chronicle, your local view.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
We are strong and we'll get through this together, but these are stressful times. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, and know that you are not alone. Visit wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Last year, we had a chance to visit the shop of artists putting the final touches on the historical mural in Newport. Let's go there now.
It was originally done in 1997, and it was headed by a bunch of artists, Tor Carlson, and they got together and they recorded the historic district of Newport. So a lot of the features of downtown Newport, and there's a historic district, and we're depicting the historic district. In the original mural, we kept everything in the original and put it into the new mural as well, but we rearranged some of the things so that it was more artistically balanced. And I think it was Tor Carlson, who has since passed away. I think he was the one that headed the project, and a couple of the people that are working on the project now were also working on that project. Tom Kelly, who's been helping us paint here, he was one of the original guys, and then Nick Scalera, who is also a big part of this project, but behind the scenes, like he took the mural down, he made the panels for us to paint on. They were both a part of that group. But I know this time that we've actually got the Historic Society here in Newport being a large part of it and providing some of the photographs of the buildings back in the day. And so as the head artist, I jumped in and I redesigned the new mural in a small 3-foot by 2-foot painting. Painted the mural at my studio at home. The whole mural is 48 feet by 12 feet. And the previous mural started to fall into decay beyond repair. We couldn't salvage any of it because it was too damaged. So we've got some marine board with kind of a frame so that the structure will last longer than the last one. Nick Scalera came together and made 36 4-foot by 4-foot panels. And then I got my image that I painted and projected the images onto these panels, these 36 panels. And at that point, we came into 15 Main, and we had many people in the community come forward and just trace the images onto the panels. And then at that point, once we had them all traced, I did a color coordination, and it was basically kind of a paint by number. After the mural had been drawn onto the panels, we took all of the 36 panels down to Newport Common, and Nick Scalera built 36 giant easels, and we had them all set up under tents, and we had approximately 34 local artists come in and spend the afternoon painting. So basically, we got the base coat down for the mural, and we pulled a lot of artists together as well in the community and had a big fun day on the green. And then everything was transported back to 15 Main, and then it was my job to pull everything together, and then I've got some fantastic volunteers, and we've all been here diligently working and trying to get the mural done. I've set a deadline for September 17th, and it's to be hung October 8th. And so all of the panels have to be double clear coated for protection, and they're getting clear coated with the UV protection. So anyway, the whole project has involved a huge amount of the community. And I think that was the real premise of the whole thing, was to really get the community involved in something, and unity and pride in Newport. So the new mural will be hung in the same location as the old mural, which is on the Newport Fitness building on the side facing Harrington's Jewelers and right next to Aurora Bakery. And there has also been another community effort right there where they have installed some chairs and tables so that you can sit and go get your bakery items and sit and admire the mural. So if you wanted to find out any more information on the mural and the details behind it, you can go to www.libraryartscenter.org.
Thanks to the community-minded folks in Newport that made this happen. It's located across from the courtyard from MJ Harrington Jewelry. Drop by and take a look. Before we take our leave of the VNA, let's hear about the Center for the Arts gallery strolls.
Nestled in the western part of New Hampshire, right in the heart of the Lake Sunapee region, is the quaint little town of New London. It might seem like a typical rural New England town, but if you spend a little time here, you might be impressed to find it is a cultural hotspot for artists, tourists, and vacationers alike. Residents can enjoy the lake's excellent dining, bakery, and businesses. However, you may be pleasantly surprised to know that every quarter the local Center for the Arts holds its artist opening receptions. In these gallery strolls, 6 different businesses and galleries show the talent of area artists. Multiple businesses give their wall space to become micro-galleries for 3 months, displaying diverse pieces of fine art that locals or visitors can purchase over the course of the show. These Center for the Arts gallery strolls are always the first Friday of February, May, September, and November, displaying a new artist at each location for a total of 24 artists a year. Each opening reception location provides wine and appetizers, where a walking museum experience can be enjoyed by art enthusiasts of all ages. This is a special experience that not every town can offer, as the Lake Sunapee region is teeming with talented artists who have chosen to live and display their creations with this local community. Come see for yourself, or find out more at www.centerfortheartsnh.org/microgalleries.
Thank you to the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice for hosting us these past 4 weeks. Next week will be presented by Ledyard Bank and Financial Services. Dial us up to meet some of their new experts that can help to plan well so you can live well. Tune in to YCN's Live Game of the Week. We're into tournament play. Check out the schedules on our website for the most up-to-date live game information. Games replay every Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. on TDS channels 13 and 1013, NCTV 8, Roku, Apple TV, and for those that don't have cable, our YCNnow.com website carries all of our programming on demand. I'm Abby Peel. Join us again next week from the Ledyard Financial Services for your fresh edition of Yankee Chronicle. Enjoy the fall.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.